All right, YouTube, I got a crazy one here for you. It's a 99 Astro van 4.3 liter, and I kept getting a P0300 304 misfire code. Intermittently, this thing would misfire. The guy brought it to me. He brought his own parts, spark plugs, wires, cap, rotor. He said it would intermittently misfire more so when damp out, so obviously that's the first thing you replace. So I did that, and then I gave it back to him, and brought it back a month later and said it was kind of running rough again intermittently. And so I check it out, and I could get this thing to I had misfires on pretty much all cylinders except for two. And so everything's been replaced, plugs, wires, cap, rotor. And once in a while I can get it to miss pretty good. But I end up putting the spider injection assembly in it, which is common on GMs. They updated to a multi-port instead of these stupid prone for failure pop valves there. And so I did that and drove pretty good. And then intermittently again, you'd get on it on the highway or whatever, and you'd start bucking and missing again. And it definitely felt like an ignition miss, not a fuel miss. So I had good fuel pressure. I had 60 psi of fuel pressure. And so I ended up putting a new distributor in it because these GM's 4.3 liters are common for the distributors wearing out, the gears wearing out. So I put a brand new distributor in it, got it timed, same shit, misfire, number 4. So now I'm pulling my hair out, can't freaking sleep because obviously this thing is kicking my ass. I did compression check on it. I got 175 pounds of compression on every cylinder. I swapped out the spark plugs. I swapped out the wires. I put an AC Delco cap and rotor on it because obviously the aftermarket is sometimes crap and they're known for failing on these vehicles. So I swapped out ignition coil. I swapped out an EGR valve, thinking maybe the EGR valve was stuck and causing a miss. Swapped out map sensors. This thing is just, it's crazy. There's some carbon on the valve, so I did a fuel injection and carbon service, cleaned the carbon out of the intake and valve train. One thing I did notice after messing around, that it would always miss in drive under load. It got to be so common that it was happening all the time. And you put it in drive and it would run like crap. You put it in reverse and load the engine, no miss. As soon as you put it back in drive, you load the engine, you get a definite miss. And you can watch number 4 cylinder misfiring. Like, wow, that's crazy, strange. So what I did is I started checking the main wire harness where it feeds back to the computer, and I actually started wiggling right here, this main harness. And every time I'd wiggle it, the engine would kind of buck and kind of act funny and run rough. So I started fouling around, and actually I found, if you can see on the top of this AC manifold here, there's like a flat spot. I don't know if you can see that. It was actually rubbing on the harness here. This harness here, right here, was rubbing on this manifold. So I bent this manifold down, and you could actually check with a mirror, and you can actually see, I'm going to try to focus this, but you can see this black, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's a black with a blue tracer wire. You can kind of see it. You see the copper showing? It was actually shorting the ground, obviously grounding through the AC compressor. And I got to figure out what that wire feeds, but every time this motor would rock, when you'd load the engine, the motor would rock to the side, short out this wire harness, and it would start running like shit. As soon as I went in reverse, it would rock the other way and it would never misfire. And thank God that I stumbled across that, because I've got probably about 20-25 hours into this thing trying to figure out this phantom misfire that has been keeping me up at night and losing sleep over and starting to question my technical abilities. So hopefully this will help you guys, even if you don't have a misfire, but you got a weird intermittent electrical concern. I mean, there's a whole bulk of wires in that harness, and that harness feeds the entire powertrain and transmission. So if you guys have weird transmission issues or weird drivability issues, check the obvious. I mean, they pack 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag with these vans, and there's no room. And as you can see, everything, there's all kinds of spots where you can chafe a harness, and it's just crazy. So hopefully that'll help you guys out if you have an intermittent weird concern. And because I know I spent countless hours on the internet trying to find some help and forums, and this is just a crazy intermittent weird issue, and thank God I got it fixed. So hope it helps you guys out.